There is a raw, kinetic satisfaction in the exact moment a boot strikes a ball. It is an impact you can feel in your chest. Comparing the global human population of 8 billion to football fans, half the planet, 4 billion people, follows this game. And these fans are completely distributed, spanning every continent, time zone, and economic bracket on Earth. Humans have always liked kicking things. Over 2,000 years ago, during the Han Dynasty, Chinese soldiers played a leather ball game called Cuju. Ancient Greece and Rome had their own localized kicking sports. Yet none of those ancient games could connect humanity. A Roman soldier and a Chinese farmer could never play a match against each other because they lacked a shared set of mechanics. They had the ball, but they didn't have a shared language. Even leading into the 19th century in England, the landscape of the sport was completely chaotic. Different towns and rival schools played by completely incompatible rules. If a team traveled to a neighboring village for a match, they would step onto the field and find that the boundaries, the fouls, and the scoring mechanics changed the moment they crossed the town line. You have to treat game rules exactly like a spoken language. Without a standardized grammar and agreed-upon vocabulary, two groups cannot communicate. For the sport to survive outside of isolated local bubbles, someone had to sit down and write the definitive dictionary. That happened in 1863. Representatives from various competing clubs gathered in London and formed the Football Association. They debated the chaotic local variations and published the first official standardized rules of the sport. By locking in exactly how the game would be played from that point forward, England secured its designation as the birthplace of modern football. Once the mechanics were standardized, the game scaled rapidly. Factory workers and local communities across the country adopted the unified code, forming leagues and traveling easily to compete. Soon, the sport spilled outward into mainland Europe and South America. To manage this explosive international growth, organizers formed a central governing body, FIFA, in 1904. The FA rules and FIFA provided the essential infrastructure. For the first time, rival nations with completely different cultures and native tongues could step onto a patch of grass and perfectly understand each other. You can see the ultimate test of that infrastructure in 1930 during the first FIFA World Cup in Uruguay. Looking at the sheer volume of spectators in this early stadium shows how effectively the sport allowed distant countries to interact peacefully. With a stable worldwide framework in place, players could focus entirely on pushing the physical limits of the game. The sport began producing masters who turned strict rules into fluid art. Pelé embodied the raw, physical dedication of this early era, moving with a speed and precision that captivated the globe. Players like Diego Maradona and Johan Cruyff followed, expanding the strategic boundaries of what a single athlete could execute against a defending team. That lineage continues directly. It leads to modern masters like Zinedine Zidane, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Lionel Messi. These fluent masters filled trophy cabinets and, in doing so, provided a blueprint that inspired billions of young players to begin their own journey with the ball. Today, the peak of that infrastructure involves major leagues and the UEFA Champions League, pulling in billions of viewers and filling modern megastadiums with roaring supporters. If you remove the broadcasting deals, the sponsors, and the concrete stadiums, the game doesn't stop. It functions perfectly without them. You do not need expensive gear, specialized training facilities, or a manicured grass pitch. It is accessible everywhere. All you need is a ball and open space. That holds true whether you are in a rural village or a dense urban environment. Anyone can learn the mechanics in 5 minutes and participate immediately. Because it demands almost nothing, it has traveled everywhere. It crosses national borders, bypassing language barriers and political divides, to give billions of people a shared experience. That ability to bring humanity together onto a single field is why football truly remains the beautiful game.